Welcome to today's video, and we're going to be using the text-to-speech and the translate extension together because they're both only very few blocks and they're pretty related. So let's just add them both. Text-to-speech and translate. They're only like 5 blocks in total. So the first one is the speak block. So you can speak any word you want, but the origin, we have to speak it in the language that's already been set, that what the language is by default set to English. But so if I click this right now,
Hello.
you would have heard that. But if we can change it to something else. But if we write this here,
Hello.
it'll still say that. It'll still say the thing, but it'll say it in a different accent.
Hello.
See, it'll say in a French accent. But if we put a French word in there, say it properly.
Bonjour.
Like in French, say a French word. And then we can use the set voice block. And so there are a few different voices. There's the alto, and I'm pretty sure that's alto.
Bonjour.
Yeah, it's at alto right now. And we can do tenor. We have to click it though, make sure.
Bonjour.
That's tenor. And there's the squeak,
Bonjour.
and there's the giant one, which is less
Bonjour.
like that. And there's the last one.
Meow.
It's really useless, honestly, unless you want to make it sound like kittens. And there's the translate block. You can translate a word in a language. Let's say I write hello. I can translate it, let's say, to French. And if I click it, it'll say bonjour. But then I can translate this word, and translate bonjour back to English. Where's English here? Okay, there you go. And it'll give me hello. Let's make something like, maybe let's do some small program here. So this is not, so this program, well, okay. So basically what we want is we want something where he'll ask you, do you want to translate, or speak? Speak. And then we'll just need and we'll need the answer block, and then we'll need an operator. So what we're gonna do is, if it's translate, we're gonna do this. So if the answer, well, we need the if block. So let me just get the if block out. So basically, if the answer is equal to, let's say maybe, if the answer is equal to translate, let's do translate first. Then you gotta ask a few more questions. What language would you like to translate to? So, what language would you like to translate to? Sorry, I accidentally clicked there. So, what language would you translate to? And then, what we're going to do is, oh well, okay, that took some time. So now, what you want to do is, you want to go here, and then you want to take the answer block while you're here, the answer variable. And then you want to go all the way down here, text to speech, and then set language to answer. Okay? I mean translate. Sorry, we're doing translate right now. So we want to put that there. So it'll translate to answer. But we need another thing. But we need to actually set this to translate language, TL. It's going to take a long time to write that. So set TL to answer. So we'll set the TL, translate language, to answer, okay? And then we'll translate to the translate language. Now we need to ask one more question though. I didn't need to grab the variable, we don't need that. So now we need to ask one more question. What would you like to translate? What would you like to translate, right? So, and then we need to take that answer and we need to translate that. So, I need to make him say it. And we'll make him say it because we don't know how long, what they will want to translate, right? So we'll make them say it for, let's say, 9 seconds. Okay? Because because in case they translate something really long. So now let's test this part of the code out first. Translate or speak. I want to translate. What language would you like to translate to? French. And then what would you like to translate? Hello. Hello. So, well, I've unticked the variables, and as you can see, well, French. French. Best language. I've totally heard of that language. So let's start that again. Let's do all that again, okay? Translate. Translate. Well, that's to indicate language. What language? French. Make sure it spells French. Good. And then what would you like to translate? I would like to translate hello. Let's see what you have to say about that. Bonjour. Okay, that part works well. So I just ticked these for debugging, but we're done debugging. My spelling is very good, that's why. And we just gotta go back here. Okay, the speak part is basically we're just gonna do. We have to copy this entire thing just for the first line. Don't worry. We can change this to speak. And then we just need the first question. Don't need anything else. Stop. Okay. So what language would you like? No. What would you like to speak? What would you like to speak? What would you like to speak, right? And then he's gonna speak that, and we need what language as well. We needed that. Let's just put the two questions there first. What? In what language? Let's just erase all this. In what language? And then, but first we need to go here. There's a variable here that's called sentence. Set sentence to. Okay, and we also need to grab the sentence and the language. By the way, I know that this language is not spelled correctly. We can rename it later if we have to. So we can go down here and we need set language. What would you like to speak? We're gonna set the sentence to that actually. Set sentence to what would you like to speak, and set language to what you would like to speak. And we also need the answer. So this answer, the answer to that will get put into here. So basically what? Oh yeah, you still have to do the last part of it. The speaking and the language. So you're gonna speak the sentence, and the language is gonna be the language. Okay. So basically what this does is so it's gonna ask you translate or speak. If you choose translate, if the answer is translate, then it'll ask you what language do you want to translate to, and it'll put that answer inside this box, inside this variable called translate language, and it'll ask what would you like to translate, and then that answer, since the answer hasn't been updated, it'll translate directly that answer, the unupdated answer of what would you like to translate, to TL, which is the translate language, which you answered up here. And it's gonna say that. But instead up here, at the beginning, if you chose speak, if you chose to speak, then you choose ask what would you like to speak, and you'll wait. And it'll set the sentence to the answer. To that answer, it'll set the variable called sentence. And it'll ask you in what language. And wait. So it'll put that answer inside the language. And it'll speak the sentence. It'll speak that sentence, and it'll set the language to language. I always make this mistake. Put the language on top of the speak, so that it actually makes a difference. Start it. So let's speak. Okay? Speak. What would you like to speak? Hello. In what language? English. Hello. Now let's run it again. Let's just test it on a different language. Let's see how well it works. Speak. What would you like to speak? Let's say bonjour. In what language? French. Yeah, there you go. So all that works. That's it for today's video. Bye. See you in the next one.